You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Shifley dances his way in. Shifley scores! Mike Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Woo, Last Minute Podcast, episode 162. Welcome back. You've got Dan, Cam, and myself, Greg, off of the 1 week suspension. You guys didn't let me on the podcast for a week, so
Yeah. We said you were on a scouting report. You have better things to do, like
I
football.
actually was on a scouting report.
Like football.
No, it was a scouting report.
Yeah, sure you were. I believe you. Oh, to clear up, did you listen last week?
I did not. I have not yet.
No, that's fine.
I heard you guys kind of made fun of me for a while.
What football team are you supporting this year?
Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, it's confirmed. Lock it in, ladies and gentlemen.
You know why?
Lock it in.
You know why?
No, not because AR-15's down. No. Jaguars are my AFC team.
It's because they're 1-0 now. He
And
confirmed
the
it.
Falcons-
He confirmed
They
it.
almost weren't 1-0. They
I'm
almost
cheering.
blew the lead. Almost lost the fourth quarter to the Bears.
You got problems.
They don't
if
even
you
have
lose
Jay
to the
Cutler
Bears.
anymore, so you can't.
No.
You can't even make an excuse.
They have a worse quarterback than Jake Cutler now. Ugh. Mark that in. Anybody who had 2 minutes into the podcast, I'd be yelling.
Yeah.
You just won.
Upset.
Yep.
Yeah, over under 5 minutes. It was the under.
Yeah.
Always take the
Some
under.
guy just made at least a medium Slurpee
Yeah, at
worth
least.
of money. Yeah.
I haven't had one of those in a very long time.
They have a nice, they have the green size, which is a small. They have Canada 150 size, and then the blue size. Canada 150, perfect for me.
You know
'cause
who else
blue
is
size-
celebrating something and their color is blue?
Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes, they are celebrating their 100th anniversary, their 100th season. And they have what's called the Next Century game, which is going to be played against the Carolina Hurricanes on December 19th, where they wear the inaugural Toronto Arenas jerseys.
Decent.
So we'll be talking about that.
Okay.
The other things we'll be talking about on today's show, and what we want to get to first, obviously, is the Jets news with the extensions to both Paul Maurice and Kevin Cheveldayoff that happened when? When did
Tuesday.
it happen?
No.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Because why?
Wednesday after.
We recorded Tuesday.
Yeah.
No News Tuesdays. Hashtag no
Next
news
shirt.
Tuesday. It's got
Next-
all
We're
the
making
shirts.
2 shirts.
Yeah.
Wrong with confidence, no news Tuesdays.
Always. You have to.
Exactly. Other things I want to talk about, obviously the Jets rookie camp is going on right now, or their Young Stars camp. Just want to make quick notes about it. I have a couple questions about a couple players that maybe we should look at a little bit harder when it comes to preseason time, which is a week away. Preseason starts next Monday against the Minnesota Wild. Hockey is almost here. It is a great time of year. And then there's also one other question I have for the three of us, and I'll save that for a little bit later in the podcast.
Did you take a picture of?
I
computer
wrote
screen?
stuff up, and then,
Nice.
yes. Because I didn't want to bring my computer here today, because it's all set up nicely, because I'm...
Yeah. No, it's Sunday.
Okay.
It's for football Sunday.
Other
Okay.
things that I want to touch on today. Calgary, not going to be building a new stadium, or a new arena, so there's some hinting from Gary Bettman that it could hurt a future, could put their future in jeopardy for hockey in Calgary without
It's
a new
Bettman.
arena.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's
Remember-
Bettman
so-
in a
Remember what he
Canadian
said?
market.
Yeah.
Remember what he said when he came here for the press conference?
Yeah.
You guys better buy tickets.
Yeah.
So our
As he
tickets-
stares down
This
the barrel
won't,
of
this
the
won't
camera.
work unless this building's sold out overnight. But I digress. Other questions I want to talk about is, obviously with Connor McDavid being the most recent young captain on a team, are we going to see this becoming a trend with more teams the second year or third year into young players' careers, them becoming the captains? I want to save that for later in the podcast. As well, talk about a big defensive coming off injury or getting cleared for contact, as well as some signings for PTOs and other big signings in the NHL.
That's a big list. Let's go.
I
Okay.
said we get through 40.
We're getting through all of it.
We're getting
That's a
through all of
promise.
it. We
Go.
got to tease.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so
Okay.
Paul Maurice and Kevin Cheveldayoff getting extended for undisclosed amounts of money, which
Multi-year extensions.
multi-year extensions for undisclosed amounts of money.
I heard 5 for Chevy, 3
Okay.
for Palmo, but that's just,
Like years?
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
That's just what I heard.
Okay, so
There's no-
regardless, this doesn't need to
Don't
be
take my word
disclosed to the public. It's nothing that matters, right? It's not a. There's no cap friendly for coaches. Who cares?
Actually.
There should be. That's
No,
awesome.
no, because like
No.
because coaches are. I think they'd be more scrutinized the more public these things are.
Oh, for sure.
I think having this behind closed doors is totally fine. But let's get into the extensions. I'll let Dan talk first because I know Cam's gonna have his opinions.
I was surprised when I got the memo on my phone. I mean, I don't know why I was surprised. I guess it wasn't in my head. I guess because they kind of talked. The season ended, nothing happened. The season's about to start, so I guess in my head I put it on the back burner. I didn't even realize that they're both going into their last year. Like I did know, but it wasn't in on the top of my head. So I was surprised, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm not surprised that they did it. I don't. People are complaining, saying, "Oh, what if they don't? If they aren't a playoff team this year, well, they're stuck with the same management coach for No, they're not. They can still fire them. I mean, and you usually see this happen when a coach, especially with a coach going into his last year, he usually gets an extension. Doesn't mean his job's safe. It just means, they're giving him the confidence that if the team does what it's supposed to do, then he's the guy. But if the team falls, I'll say this right now: if they don't make the playoffs, if they're not even close, I can still see Maurice getting fired. Unfortunately, because I think he's a good coach. But this usually happens so that the coach has some security and kind of takes some of the heat off him all year.
And takes away the, as you mentioned, the lame duck argument, which I only learned.
Yes.
I've been using it my entire life, but I now know the term of, oh, well, I mean, you could fire him. It's his last year. I was really excited to use that all year this year. I was real excited. Now, I wasn't impressed. Okay, I'm fine with the Chevy deal. I wasn't impressed with it. I don't think... you guys know how I feel about Paul Maurice. Like, I don't think... Nothing personal against the guy. Like, he's a phenomenal coach compared to me, I guess. But when there are other coaches available... Actually, you know what? I can't even say that because I can't even name him.
Is that really giving him a compliment?
Dan
saying he's a better coach than you?
Well, yeah, I'm not a coach, so, I mean, he is one.
Yeah, but every coach is better than you.
Just
True. Okay, I'm just going to read this. Okay?
anything hockey-wise that you compare to yourself, I don't think is a fair comparison.
Fine.
Like,
okay.
oh, Joe McGinley, like he's not as good
Cam?
as the players are anymore, but he's phenomenally better than I am.
You know what,
He's
Cam?
much better than I
Radko
am.
Gudas, he's not that good, but he's better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take it. You said it. You said Radko Gudas is better than. Someone cut that and that's the new intro. Radko Gudas is better than the entire Jets. No, just kidding. Knows that. Okay, I don't know how you extend a coach who hasn't gotten your team to play. Like, sorry, he got you to the playoffs. He doesn't get you a win, and since you've been out of the playoffs, okay, let me just name the amount of years he's been a coach, okay? Since 96? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, Cam's counting.
Okay, yeah.
Let's admire him. He has to count with his fingers.
I will rebut before you finish. I totally get the argument, but I think people have to realize that the year that they made the playoffs, I don't think they went into that season thinking they were going to make the playoffs. I think they thought they were 3 or 4 years away. I think Paul Maurice knew that. I think the fact that they made the playoffs that year hurt them because I don't think the structure of their team, the players they had at that time, they couldn't sustain that going forward. I feel like they had to go through a couple of years of what they've done. And they've gotten some really good young players in that process. So, I think the playoff... Getting in the playoffs hurt them that year. It was good for the team, but it hurt them overall because of the last couple of years they've had to kind of rebuild and retool. And I think now, there's no excuses now.
Yeah. Okay, so then we're definitely on the same page with
Yes.
that. It's like, if he doesn't... Now, what I want to know, Greg might know this, with managers' contracts, when you're fired, they don't have to pay you out, right?
They do.
They do.
I
It's
think
a
they're
contract. Yeah.
You can't just cut them?
No.
Zip tie 'em?
There's
No, it's like
there's guaranteed contracts.
What you're saying is you're saying I'm going to pay you this amount of money over this amount of time. You can let somebody go, but they still get paid that amount of money
Dang
over
it.
that amount of time.
Okay, and while Dan said that, actually I totally agree with pretty much everything he said, or all of it. He's been a coach for 21 years. He's missed the playoffs 12 years. Bounced out of the first round 3 times. Been to the third round once and the finals once. Those numbers don't make sense. I counted all of the years he was a coach. Ixnay that. Just saying. He's been a coach for many years. 12 years.
So
he has not made
he's
the
kind of
coach.
been all over the...
Okay, for every one time he makes the playoffs, he's out of it for 3 years.
But has he really had a good team to work with?
Well, I think it's him. We've already look at the goalie numbers he has.
But when he was in Toronto, did he have a team that could have?
He made that. They made the playoffs.
No,
they
they
just
didn't.
No, they didn't. At any year that he was in the Toronto.
No.
Yeah, lost in round 1. Toronto. Fuck.
But did they have a team that that could have? I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, but he has the tools.
Like
He's
Carolina.
had the tools with the Jets the last 3 years,
Not really.
and
no.
only one time they made it.
I think
And
making
they didn't
excuses.
even win a game.
I don't know how.
I'd argue it's.
I don't know how you can look at a team with the lineup the Jets had last year. Circumstances, take the circumstances out, that rookie goal, all that stuff. It's hard to go in after making the playoffs that 1 year and say that is not a playoff team. It's hard to make that argument. Circumstances outside the window. Central Division, whatever excuse you want to use, that is the expectation at some point. That's what I said last year. That's what I said the year before. At some point with this team, the expectation has to be playoffs. Not, let's find the excuse as to why they didn't make the playoffs. Let's say they overachieved 1 year, so that's we shouldn't expect them. No, the expectation is playoffs. You listen, I know people hate it. You listen to the Toronto media right now. The Toronto made the playoffs once, okay, with this team they have now. And the amount of articles that are talking about Stanley Cup champions is absolutely astronomical. So you cannot say, because Toronto, in all accounts, overachieved last year. Going into the season, would never have picked Austin Matthews to have a 40-goal season. Would never have picked Nazem Kadri to have a 30-goal season. Never would have picked Connor Brown to have a 20-goal season. By all accounts, they overachieved. But everybody right now understands that overachievement means they're progressing faster than they should have been. So playoff expectation is now. And that's what people are realizing in Toronto. The fact that Winnipeg still can't wrap their head around expectation needs to be playoffs every single year. I don't hate either of these deals, but the Paul Maurice deal really reminded me of when Toronto extended Randy Carlyle after the 2013-2014 season. So they had made the playoffs in 2013. Randy Carlyle and the Toronto Maple Leafs were in a playoff position for most of the season, and then pretty much around February they fell off a cliff. The next year, Randy Carlyle gets an extension. Everyone's like, what the are they thinking? What are they thinking? And then I think it was February, gets canned. And then that led to, obviously, them tanking a little bit. That led to the Mitch Marner pick, and then the rest is history, as you guys know. But this, to me, seems like you have to, we're going to give you this out of respect to you, but at the same time, this leash isn't long. It's not a long leash right now.
No,
that he's
they
on.
have to make the playoffs.
And if they don't, we all agree that they probably should get tossed.
Yeah, I don't think there should be any reason, and there shouldn't be the whole.
But
it's his contract year hanging over his head all year. Give him the money. I'm okay with it.
If they don't make the playoffs, though, it's not 100% his fault. They need to do some player shuffling.
But that's
But the team that he has is they're too good not to
How
make
do you
playoffs.
not make playoffs with this team? It has to be competency with the
This
coaching
team right
at
now
some
was
point.
not as good as it was. Right now was not as good as it was last year.
Well, then why didn't they make the playoffs last year?
How many man games did they lose last year? Like 280 some odd.
Yeah,
man
but you
games.
still.
Sorry, how many man games did Pittsburgh lose the year that they still
I'm
went to the
just
playoffs? Using that, they
That's
lost
not a
more
fair-
man games.
that's
They
not a
lost
fair
more man
argument.
games when they made the playoffs.
How is that a fair argument?
Okay. The year the Jets made the playoffs, they had more man games lost.
That proves
you
that
cannot
they-
use that argument.
That proves that they don't have the depth. They didn't have depth last year.
And this year, a year later, is suddenly different.
Well, they have last year.
They brought in
last year
Kulikov.
you didn't know what Patrick Laine was. Nick Ehlers wasn't a 65-point player. Mark Chevy was an 82-point player.
Now
your goaltending was a big mess. Tyler Myers barely played. He played 8 games.
Okay, but you just
All
said
I'm saying is
the team's better this year than it is next year. But you said
I'm
you
saying
can't
right
put,
now their team is better than it was at the end of the season last year.
But you said you can't put the blame on Maurice. You just said all your players progressed. So you're
I'm
going to blame the
saying
players
it's not
then?
going to be 100% his fault, but I'm saying if this team can't win now, probably get a new coach. But you need to this core group of players. If it's not going to work soon, you have to change it.
They don't make playoffs. Brian Little doesn't get re-signed.
I mean, it's
I wouldn't want to come back if I was Brian.
No.
I want to win.
He
You got to trade Dustin Buffalo.
does want to stay here. That's the thing. These players want to stay here. But if the team's not going to win with the core they have, it's been 7 years after this year. You have to change it.
And now you could say that the last 2 years have been for developing, and that's why they haven't made the playoffs. But like with the players that they have, nothing's better for development than actually being thrown into the fire of playoffs.
And you can't compare them to Pittsburgh because it's two different teams.
Well,
I mean,
but
fine.
man
Then
bodies,
I'm using
not
the same.
we are high on the
Same
Jets
team.
right now because we watch them play. We know what they could have, but we also see them every game. Maybe we're a little bit higher on them than we should be. There's a ton of expectation. If they don't make the playoffs, it's a huge failure this year. Like there's no.
I think it was a failure last year when they did make playoffs.
Of course, and it was a failure 2 years ago when they made the playoffs the year before, and the expectation that year was they're going to be in the playoffs, and it didn't happen, and that was a big failure that year.
The year they missed the playoffs.
So this past year not making the playoffs, I don't think it surprised anybody. Sure, like it's upsetting, and you want them to aim for the playoffs, but I don't think it surprised anybody. This year, the whole team model. You listen to all the interviews with the GM, the owner, they fully expect to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
say that
as
every
they
year.
should.
But they have never come out outright and said, this year is the year we have to make the playoffs. They've never done that as an organization. 7 years. So if they don't do it this year, something's changing because their team is good enough. Their team is more than good enough. If they get adequate goaltending, if they learn how to play defense, the injuries is luck. I mean, they have to be lucky enough to get injuries, but
at the same time, you have to look at the players who continue to get injured. Tyler Myers has been injured almost every season he's been in the NHL. Dustin Byfuglien, been injured a lot over his career. Jacob Trouba, injuries.
Perot. Every year.
There's injuries down the board, and eventually you have to just say, maybe there's an issue. Perfect example. Week 1 this week for the NFL, there's been this rookie wide receiver that's been highly touted for 3 years now, continues to get hurt. His name's Kevin White for the Chicago Bears. There has to be a point where you just say, you're just never going to make it here because you can't stay healthy. And if I would rather have a guy that's in my lineup every night, that's competent, that's good, than a guy that's in my lineup for 25 games a year, 30 games a year because he gets hurt all the time. I think that argument has to be honestly thought about when you talk about Steven Stamkos. If, let's say, he gets hurt for another extended period of time this year, there has to be a point in saying, maybe you're not... Maybe Tampa Bay has to move past him because losing a top guy that you're paying $8 million for, or, in the Jets' case with Dustin Byfuglien, 7.6 or whatever it might be, losing that type of talent every year for an extended period of time doesn't help you get anywhere.
And you also have to keep in mind, too, with all the problems they had last year, they missed the playoffs by, 2 wins? They weren't far off. They won one less game than Nashville. Nashville almost won the Stanley Cup. So for all the problems that they had, they weren't far off.
You got to get there.
So that's why there's no reason that this year that they can't.
I think we're all on the same page. We all believe the Jets should be a playoff team this year, but we also all believe that if the Jets don't make the playoffs, it's a failure.
Yeah.
This season is not a success. So, which gets me into a couple questions.
Okay.
Jets rookie tournament. They played 3 games. They played against Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Lost to Vancouver 4-2. Lost to Edmonton 3-0, and beat the Flames 4-1. Now, 2 players that I want to talk about more than any other player. Tucker Poolman played his debut in a Jets jersey last night for the Winnipeg Jets against the Flames. If you're Kevin Cheveldayoff and you're Paul Maurice, are you giving him a serious look in preseason to be the first guy you call up if a Dustin Byfuglien gets hurt or if one of your star defensemen get hurt? Is he the first guy you're calling up?
Well, who's your 7th D right now?
Well, Ben
Sherratt.
I think Sherratt goes in, but I mean, I don't think you call him up to be in the press box. I think Sherratt goes in.
But
first.
is he your 8th defenseman?
If you need, yes.
You think he's the 8th defenseman?
If you needed a second guy in your lineup, I think he's the guy. Because who else do they have?
I was just going to ask.
Because Brendan Kitchen's gone.
Carolina signed him.
They have Nelson Noje, who played some games last year.
And then there's
Melchiori.
But at some point...
And Jan Kosteluk as well.
I feel like you have to...
I'm going to be super biased and say, yeah, he's 8th, and I'm being biased because I've watched him the last 3 years at North Dakota. Okay. I was kind of hoping he'd stay so he'd be captain, but that's just...
I mean, honestly, probably staying in the AHL for the year is better for him, but...
And now we have more incentive to go watch the Moose. Because Tucker Poolman. Oh, here we go. Next one.
Jansen Harkins had 2 goals last night against Calgary Flames. He's a guy that I've always been curious about because you don't really hear a lot about him. But he's I feel that he has the tools to be successful in the NHL. Do you think that they would give a serious look at a guy like him or a guy like Michael Spacek, who are younger guys, and just to see what they can do and give them a big look in the preseason? Because normally what they do in preseason is they let some guys have a little bit longer stay. I think Jansen Harkins, Tucker Pullman, and Michael Spacek are perfect opportunities to get them in as many games as possible. Because I think they're third and fourth round picks respectively around with those guys. I want to see what they can do. And I think that as a management group, you have guys that are, I think they're successful hockey players. I think they'll be really good for the Moose this year, but I want to see what they can do with the Jets.
Well, I think they'll definitely get, they'll probably get the full.
I'm not talking like 1 or 2 games in the preseason.
They'll probably be, sent down after the last game. They're not going to make the team. There's no way.
No, there's too many guys in front of them.
There's no room. But, I mean, in the next couple of years, those could be good depth guys, good call-ups.
One of them could surprise you. You never know, right? Like, deep round picks are those crazy things that could flourish into something.
If they have the amount of injuries they had last year, those guys might play this year. You never know.
But do you see some benefit in, let's say, not having as big of looks at guys like Brandon Tanev and the Andrew Kopps, and having bigger looks at guys like the Jansen Harkins, the Vasileinens,
Well, I think in the preseason, because I think the guys
that's what I mean. Yeah,
because the Tanevs and the Kopps are going to be the guys that
You already know what they offer.
Exactly. You know what they are. You know whether they're going to be bottom 6 or AHL.
Yeah. So if you're. Because last year Kopp was sent down right at the start of the season.
But that's the same thing, too, with this prospect tournament. Like, Kyle Connor could have gone. Jack Roslovic could have gone.
They chose not to.
A lot of these guys could have gone again, but they didn't want to. They want these kids that,
They didn't want them to,
because
Jets said.
They know what Kyle Connor is. They know what Jack Roslovic is. Yeah. They know what a lot of these guys are. They don't need to play in a tournament and maybe even risk an injury. I mean, why not give these kids a chance,
But I would like to see extended looks given to some guys. And even Jack Roslovic can be on that list.
Oh, I think
because if somebody can flourish this year, gives you opportunity and gives you depth, which, like you said, they lacked last year, and I think that's something that every good team needs because they're in a bind with contracts next year. So if they can find a diamond in the rough somewhere, a guy that can come out and just play log minutes for them, even if it's preseason, just show up and then be able to do it 1 or 2 games in the regular season. That's huge. That's something the Jets have never really had. Guys from the AHL stepping in and being big minute loggers. John Elbert didn't play a lot when he came up. Eric Odell didn't play a lot when he came up. Jets need somebody that's going to emerge from the Moose and show up and belong on the Jets right away.
Well,
and I think that...
I know you guys disagree with me, but Kyle Connor is going to be on the team. He's going to get minutes.
Okay.
That's
gloves are coming off.
That's where he's
going
starting.
for round 2?
No, we're not going to touch on that.
That's where he's starting, and that's a guy right there, moves to NHL.
But I mean, like, I'm not talking moves. I mean, like, mid-season, a guy that's going to emerge and play on that team and stay
Cinderella, score the goal for them to send them to the playoffs for them to lose again.
Are you talking about Kasperi Kapanen move? No. I just mean in general, like, a guy that... Like, we talk about, greatness with Pittsburgh.
Jake Gensel. Are you talking about a Jake Gensel situation?
Well, Kyle Connor can be like a Jake Gensel.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, a guy that comes out of injury. There's... Let's say, for instance, Brian Little goes down. Jack Roslovic steps in, and he emerges and takes on that role of the second-line center, and does it... They need somebody to rise up and play to that level. And capture the moment when they play in the NHL. They have not had somebody do that. That makes the most of their time when they get called up. To give the Jets... almost one of those double takes that, we can't really send him back. Because you have those instances across the NHL. It'd be nice to see for once the Jets having that opportunity to be like, well, we called up Jack Roslovic, or we called up, let's say, Nelson Nogier, or Tucker Pullman. We can't really send him down. He's playing too good of hockey.
No, it could happen.
Would you say it'd be time for them to rise together?
Maybe.
And they could rise together.
For those of you who aren't in the know, that's the Jets hashtag for this season, is Rise Together. And Moose is hashtag Untamed. I'm in.
Oh boy.
I got my new Moose hat. It looks sweet.
Is it hashtag Untamed because there was a moose running around the Bomber Stadium on Saturday?
No, this is truly Canadian. You have to share this story. Like, for those who don't know, if there are American listeners,
You can share.
or
it,
if
'cause
you're listening,
all I know was I was driving to the game and they said there's a moose on the loose somewhere around the Bomber Stadium and they had to close some of the roads or something.
Yeah.
basically
Legit.
where the football stadium is in our city, it's by the university, so it's kind of one south end of the city. And there's two main ways to get there. One of the main drags got closed down. It's basically like a freeway, a Canadian freeway.
No. It's a Winnipeg freeway.
It's
which
a
means
Winnipeg
it's
freeway. Yeah.
60 kilometers an hour, lights everywhere. That is a Winnipeg freeway. There's no like turnoffs, nothing like that. Nothing that makes traffic flow easier. Even on our overpasses, we still have lights. That gives you a
Perfect.
good...
Yeah. Anyways, they had to close one of the two main ways to get to the arena because there was a loose moose.
Welcome
They
to
tranquilized it. It's fine.
It's dead.
They took care of it. Allegedly tranquilized it.
And it's dead.
Is it dead?
It passed away.
No.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Okay.
Yep.
The last question I have for you guys, before we move on to the mailbag, is the Jets' home opener against the Toronto Maple Leafs their biggest game of the season?
What kind
It
of
might
answer
be
you
the
looking
most.
for?
It
Yes
might-
or no, or just like an elaboration?
Analysis as to why you're picking your answer.
Dan, you go first.
Biggest game of the year? I don't know if it's probably not the. I mean, the media hype's going to be huge because of the two key players that are going to be in the game. But is it the biggest game of the year? I don't know. It might be the most exciting game of the year, unless if they make the playoffs, that must probably going to change. But that could be one of the most exciting games because the NHL tweeted it today. Patrick Laine, his hat trick last year, coming back from 4-0. I mean, that was a fun game to watch. So if the game's even 3/4 as good as that, even the game that they played in Toronto, I think it went to overtime as well. I mean,
Yes.
both the games last year were good.
When Naz and Kadri hit Ben Trout high.
So
Oh, and 2 inches to Paul
Shocker.
Maurice is 7 inches or 6 inches. Yes. To answer your question, yes. Why? It sets a tone for the rest of the year, and it shows you like you know what Toronto got last year. You know what Winnipeg can play with the big teams. We know this. It's the little teams that they play down to them. It's setting the tone for the rest of the year. Jets usually always come out pretty big in their first game, but to me, it's setting the tone for the rest of the season in terms of can they play up with a Leafs roster that got arguably both teams got better. I think both teams. We don't know what the roster is, but right now with the players we're seeing, they're both going to have both teams are going to have different players, but they didn't get worse. They both got better.
Well,
so it's going to set the tone to tell everyone where they're going to go for the rest of the year. I'd love to see
the
another
majority of
overtime game.
progression on these teams is coming from within. It's not coming from outside.
Outside.
Well, yeah, but
Like
either
both
way,
teams added pieces, but the majority, the biggest growth is going to be.
but there's still new guys.
Patrick Marleau. That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
Yeah, Patty Marlsman.
No.
And Timothy
okay, well-
Liljegren.
It's going to be important, but the first month for them is going to be important because their schedule is pretty tough. They play Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, all very good teams. Then they play Vancouver.
Ah, nice.
Then they play Carolina, Columbus, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Minnesota.
Okay, scroll up.
Sorry. I'm going to
that's
be
their
devil's
first month.
advocate here.
So their first month's going to be important
There's
because they play
only-
a lot of good teams.
But
There's
devil's
only two-
advocate, how many bad teams are there in the NHL in general? Vegas,
Well, Vancouver's pretty awful.
Vancouver,
But they aren't just
Detroit.
playing. Yeah, but they're playing
Colorado.
like upper echelon teams.
every month
two-
is important.
Of those teams that they're playing, only 2 of them didn't make playoffs last year.
Yep.
So the first month is going to be big.
It's gonna be big.
I just think, first game of the year always sets a tone, so you're going to see where they are.
The Jets have a history of doing really well. Like their first game, they always play really well, or it's always a very exciting game,
Oh, really?
and they usually
When
win.
they played against Montreal? Year one,
first
game
year
one?
sucked, but
Hey, don't you take that away from Nick Antropoff. How
So-
dare you?
we'll have to see.
And you know, my
Johnny Oduya got the first
my
point in Jets
grandma now
history.
knows the term pizza.
Yes.
Thanks to, who is that
Johnny
announcer?
Oduya.
Who said that?
Oh, I don't know.
Johnny,
Sending pizzas right up the middle.
wasn't it Claude Noel?
No. The announcer?
No, I
Was
think
it the
was
announcer or
Claude,
Noel?
wasn't it?
Yeah, Claude
Oh,
probably.
okay, someone said pizza on the
Okay,
air. Now my grandma knows what it
to
means.
answer my own question, it is the biggest game of the year for the Jets, not for the Toronto Maple Leaf, and here's why.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is the first time the Jets have been given the spotlight since they've started. They got the spotlight the first game, but they got a Sunday nighter. This is the Wednesday night opening game of the season. You're setting a tone for not only yourself, but for the entire NHL. It is going to have all eyes on you. Time to perform. Not only are the other teams going to take note if you make a statement in that game, the media is going to take note. and maybe national broadcasting, because we've always talked about how it seems the Jets get the shaft when it comes to national coverage.
Well, but
This
they
is
haven't
their
really had a
chance to
reason
rise together, you might say.
Rise up together.
Rise up is Atlanta's hashtag, that's what I said. Rise together was their old hashtag, but rise together and beat the Mecca in the first game of the season, set the tone, show them who they are right away, and everyone's going to be watching that game.
It's on Wednesday Night Hockey, which is on Sportsnet, nationally broadcast, and it's going to be simulcast on NHL Network.
Yeah.
So it's literally like the starting off the NHL season. Everyone who has, whether you're in Canada Sportsnet or NHL Network in the States, you had this game you can watch. It's there.
I think I would agree it's probably more important for the Jets, but I think it's a huge game for both teams because I don't know how you feel about Toronto this year, but
Well, it's playoffs or nothing. Both teams in the same situation.
It's playoffs or nothing, but they're kind of in the boat that Winnipeg and Calgary were in 2 years ago. They made the playoffs and nobody thought they would, so there's high expectations. And sometimes with a young team, there's growing pains the next year. Because Calgary and Winnipeg both missed the playoffs the next year. I'm not saying Toronto's not going to make the playoffs. Their division's not the greatest, so they have a very good chance. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Toronto this year to make the playoffs. Because last year, no one expected it, so there was pressure, but it wasn't like it's going to be this year. This year, they have to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and otherwise the season's a failure.
So, and it's going to be a young team, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Whether they rise up or whether they
rise together.
No, Toronto wouldn't
This
rise
is the
together.
Leafs.
Oh.
They don't rise together.
Yeah.
They throw waffles and jerseys on the ice.
Oh, hey. If we're using that argument, Jets fans make 11-year-olds cry.
What?
That's true.
Flyers fans.
by
Hey, hold on, I
11
gotta leave
although-
myself in. Flyers
wait,
fans.
By
so
11,
snowballs.
you should be a little tougher.
Oh, hey, Flyers fans or Philadelphia people, put batteries in snowballs and throw it at Santa. Yeah, real. They don't believe that phony. That's why.
Regardless of what happens, everyone will stand witness on December 19th as Toronto becomes 100 years old finally in the NHL. Playing against Carolina Hurricanes, Toronto Arenas, they'll be wearing Toronto Arena jerseys. And as Matt Draper,
The replacement.
texted me today saying, "That's bullshit. Why do they get a third jersey? No one else does. Stupid special exceptions." No, Matt. Screw you. Leafs get this because they aren't the Montreal Canadiens who hogged everything in their centennial season. They decided they're going to be nice and say, we're just going to have a celebration on a regular day. We're going to do it in the afternoon, not take up 6 hours on Saturday Night Hockey. We're going to take up 30 minutes. We're going to do our special inauguration. We'll do everything we need to do, and then we'll wrap it up, wear special jerseys, and it'll be great. So stop your complaining. Enjoy more Leaf variety. That's fine. The Leafs are going to sell out so many jerseys anyway. They've got the biggest fan base in the league, so why wouldn't you?
Because they have the biggest population.
But I'm excited
Do
for
they?
it.
No,
New York.
York's
Gotta
bigger.
be.
New York. And LA would be also bigger than Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Come on,
sorry.
Canada versus
Yeah.
America. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
California has more people than we do here in Canada.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Yeah, like they were talking about when like California was going to potentially come to Canada, they would have brought more people than we currently have in our country.
There's lots of space in Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Well, no, they were
house all
going to
of those
actually.
people.
California was just going to be like Canada, but stay in California. So Californians weren't going to come here. California was just going to be our.
So I wouldn't
11th
need a
province.
passport to go to
No,
California.
You could just go to
Would
California.
they have a big bridge from like BC,
No,
Vancouver Island?
that
down?
sounds stupid.
I
You
think
sound
that sounds
ridiculous.
great. I think that sounds great. What are you talking about?
That would cost a lot of money. Who's going to pay for that? You expect Mexico to pay for that? They already got to pay for a wall apparently. Now you're expecting to pay for a bridge too. You
I was hoping
jerk.
I was hoping the Alaskans were going to.
Oh, the Alaskans,
just
yeah.
build a giant pipeline. They're good at building pipelines.
I've heard.
Just
yes.
a human pipeline. No, oh God, no. I meant like no. I meant like a pipeline
Wow.
that fits
About-
people in.
The Underground Railroad? Are we talking about that now?
There's nowhere for me to go
No.
that'll save this.
No.
Let's move
Just-
on. Yeah.
Okay. In the NHL, the recent trend, and it's been a trend for a while, is for teams to make their young superstars their captains. Should it become a trend to see more players like Eichel and Matthews become Buffalo and Toronto's captains, in the same way that John Tavares became the captain in the New York Islanders, the same way that Sidney Crosby, and Connor McDavid, Steven Stamkos. I could go on for days. But do you think that those are the right steps for teams to make?
Yeah, because it's basically it's the NHL version of an NFL franchise tag where you're just the use of the word franchise is what I'm trying to get at. Is you're establishing this person is what represents our franchise, and going forth, this is a face of our franchise. I'm totally for young captains. Giroux got named captain at 23, so I believe 23.
I think if the situation is right, then sure, why not? I mean, if you're just doing it to do it, and the candidate doesn't really fit the bill,
yeah.
But there's lots of good young players now.
Oh, there's tons.
I mean, there's going to be, in 5 years, you look at the probably the captains for 2/3 of the teams. It's probably going to be a lot younger. I mean,
except for Anaheim. Ryan Getzlav will be there till he's 45.
A guy you guys didn't name, I think Mark Scheifele will be the captain probably 5 years from now.
I think Scheifele should have been the captain last year.
Yeah.
We had that argument.
We had it.
I think we've
passed
it.
He's the right guy right now. But
we can't be the WWE. We can't just recycle storylines.
Why not? They do it and make millions.
Because we're not going to sell out yet, Dan. We'll wait till the millions come, then we sell out.
You're old when I'm watching wrestling and something happens and everyone in the crowd's like freaking out because they're just started watching wrestling. Like, oh my god! And I'm sitting here being like, that happened January 23rd, 1998.
So do you think Austin Matthews and Jack Eichel are going to be named captains of their respective teams?
100% yes.
Eichel guarantee.
Eichel guarantee. Matthews, Babcock would make him wait out another year.
Are they going to have a captain this year? Or
probably not. Lou Lamoriello is being sheriff.
It'll be Matthews because if you don't do Matthews now, then he's not getting it for a long time. Because
why does he need to be captain?
If they give it to Morgan Riley, when is he going to lose it?
But why do you have to give it to him?
You don't have to, but who are you going to give it to?
Morgan Riley.
Then he's your captain for a long time because I don't see him going anywhere.
No, that's fine.
I
think so too. But
the media backlash, and I know this is not the right reason to make a decision, but the backlash if they don't name Matthews captain, it's not worth it.
Be hilarious. So, okay.
Especially if they name like Matt Martin the captain.
So I want to leave the. Oh, don't do that!
Ever put that evil on us again?
Hey, who's the captain of the Panthers right now?
Oh wait, I know this.
McKenzie.
Derek McKenzie. Yeah,
so it could happen.
Okay.
They had no.
I want to leave the Calgary thing for the last thing we talked about on the show. So Letang officially cleared for contact. So it looks like he's going to make a full recovery back into the NHL, which means that the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to have a Norris caliber defenseman.
Oh, again. Nice. Well, they didn't need one anyways.
No, they didn't. No, they really didn't.
Well, hey, the NHL giveth, the NHL taketh away. Ryan Ellis out 4 to 6 months, knee surgery.
Yeah.
Apparently,
you can only have one of those two guys in the NHL at the same time. That's
apparently, yeah. Is that the new conspiracy?
Does that
it's not the new conspiracy.
Oh,
no, it's not.
Oh no. Are we gonna go look at that injury history? We should.
No, we shouldn't.
So how much does that hurt Nashville?
Ryan Ellis.
It hurts
who
your
was he
top
paired
four.
with? Ekholm?
No, he's
it
paired
was
with
PK and Yossi.
It's PK Ekholm.
Yossi
Ellis.
So Emmeline's going to be.
Well, good thing they signed Emeline.
See, and this just furthers my. I don't think Nashville's going to be.
Ryan Ellis.
I don't think they're going to be
so
top
huge.
of the division like some people are picking. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're going to live and die on Pecorine.
They have a lot to go through this year. They lost their captain. They lost one of their 2 or 3 top forwards. They lost one of their best defensemen. So
they have Rajo. That's all they need. Bo Horvat signed his contract with the Vancouver Canucks. So we wanted to bring some insight in. And call friend of the show, Jim Benning. Okay, so Jim, congratulations. You signed Bo Horvat.
Told you last time, Greg. It's Bo.
I'm shocked you let him keep the O in Bo.
Well, he wanted 8. And he wasn't going to have it. Wasn't having any $8 million for Bo.
Just no vowels, eh?
Who needs it?
So you told me he gets what was the bargaining trip to take away vowels from his name? Do you say you get an extra $1 million for each vowel we take off?
I told him...
Because I'm trying to figure out what warrants him $5.5 million.
I told him, hey, it's either B. Horvat or Bo... And he's like, hey, can I just have both? And I'm like, yeah, you can have both. You don't get 8, though. And you know what? You can't use my boat anymore. He's like, I didn't know you had a boat, Jimmy.
I think he's lost his mind. So, Cam, what do you think of the Jim Benning, Bo Horvat deal?
They have no one else. There's no one there. There's no one.
Somebody has to make $5
There's
million.
no one there. They can't give Brock Besser $5.5 million yet. He's still on a rookie. They tried. Apparently, Jim called me. He's like, "Hey, Cam, a question. Should you give Brock Besser $5.5 million?" I'm like, Jimmy can't. You already got him signed for $900,000, $950,000. It could be up to 2.7 with the bonuses.
Interesting.
Oh, decent. Then he hung up. It was really weird. And I was
Well,
like,
he
where'd
talked
you get
about
my
a
number,
boat
Jimmy?
for no reason. So, what do you think, Dan?
Well, it concerns Vancouver, so I don't really care too much.
Well, that's not very Canadian of you.
Yes, it is.
What? No, it isn't. You have to support Canadian
When
teams.
they made the final, pretty much 90% of Canada was shitting on them. So
Yes.
I think I'm right.
Nobody
Myself
liked
included.
Vancouver.
Myself
Nobody-
included.
I was so happy. The only
I was
time in my
very happy.
life that I've ever been happy Boston's won.
If you want my
Yeah.
opinion, it's a lot of money for him because I don't really think he's really.
There yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good ceiling. He'll probably reach that at some point, but
6 years, right?
I don't think he's worth it right now.
Yep, 6 year, 33 mil.
Like
5.5.
he would have been a great bridge deal because give him 2 or 3 years, then he probably would, and he'd probably be around that. But it's Vancouver; they have to do something to make people excited.
Jim Benning should not drive a boat.
I don't know what's going on over
Two
there.
things happen this week that are going to sink their ship even further. This signing and the Sedins aren't leaving.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
They're like-
they
they're-
penned a story to the Players Tribune. They're like, "Win or lose, we're staying." And
They're
Jimmy's
like that ex.
yeah.
They're like that ex-girlfriend that just won't leave. You already broke up with her. You're like, we've been done here. Why do you keep showing up? You never change the locks. I've changed them 4 times. How do you keep getting in?
I'm the locksmith. Don't call me. Stop it. This is easily fixable.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of them. It just won't happen.
So the Sedins have accepted.
They're
never
the
gonna win.
Matt Duchene, except for the fact that
it's not that they aren't going to
They're
leave;
not gonna
it's
leave.
that they're not going to be traded unless they want to be.
yeah. Okay. Other Canadian team that did something. Calgary Flames signed Sam Bennett. 2 years, 1.95 per.
I believe that's 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old Sam Bennett. If you've been on the internet,
I have
you
not.
noticed every time there's a broadcast,
They
no
never
ma-
know his age.
No, they always say his age. We're like, first year is 18-year-old Sam Bennett. Second year,
Oh,
19-year-old
God.
Sam Bennett. Third year, 20-year-old Sam Bennett. This year, 21-year-old Sam Bennett.
It's going to get real old when he turns 40.
No, they're going to do it forever.
Just saying.
But now on the internet, you just say all his years. You go 18, 19, 20, 21, Sam Bennett.
That's funny.
He should change his
1.95.
number every year to match his age.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Well, apparently he's going to play till he's 93 then, if that's the case.
Hey,
He's
good-
currently
good for
93.
him.
Shocked that they let him wear that, considering Doug Gilmour.
Doug Gilmour wore 39 in Calgary.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Apparently someone was wearing 93, or they probably had a Lou Lamoriello GM who's like, no fun, none. Don't you even look
Who
at it.
doesn't give their jersey number up to Doug Gilmour? That's the one guy.
Was
like,
he a rookie?
not
Did they
really.
draft
No.
him?
No, they didn't. They got him for that cup run.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they did draft
Who's
him.
go? Pull that roster up. While you go.
Oh,
yeah.
1988, 89 Calgary Flames.
89 Calgary Flames, yeah. Sam Bennett, 2 years, 3.9, 1.95 per. Great bridge contract to find out really what he's worth, because I don't even know what he's worth right now. Like, he plays up and down in the lineup, but I mean, he was drafted. He was touted to come in as like an alleged Doug Gilmour style player, and well, frankly, I didn't watch a lot of Doug Gilmour, but if Doug Gilmour's a player like this, I don't know why he's so good, why he's so lauded. I'm sure Doug Gilmour's a lot better than the Sam Bennett guy. I'll tell you that. Dad, do you think, like, what do you think of Sam Bennett? Like, 2-year contract?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good deal for him right now because I think he's still in the phase where she's still growing as a player. He's still showing what he can do every year. I think it's a good deal for them. I mean, and they've got a lot of money tied up in their D for the next few years, so it saves them some room.
Yep. What I was going to say, just in terms of other signings, was Damon Severson, Brandon Manitoba boy. He signed a 6-year, $25 million deal, so 4.17 per with the Devils. Seems like the Devils are actually trying to get better and not be like Jurassic Park.
All right. So
Yeah, but they need to get him some help because he's kind of the
How dare? What are we calling Will Butcher again? What'd you call him?
Hunter.
Hunter Butcher.
Hunter Butcher.
They got a pretty decent young core coming.
Young.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Good luck beating the young boys in Philly.
They're
Jersey.
no longer going to be Jurassic Park. They're going to be Jurassic World because it's a new cool
It's
thing.
a new updated 21st century.
Are they gonna have a
version.
big pool with a giant useless thing in the middle?
Yes.
Oh
not-
wait,
How the
that's
fuck
Taylor
did you
Hall.
get that in there?
That's Taylor
wait.
Hall.
Shoot. I tried to go.
That is Taylor. Taylor Hall's a giant. So how the fuck did that get there?
Peter Chiarelli happened.
Plot
Okay.
hole.
So Doug Gilmour was drafted by the Blues. So he
Okay.
wasn't drafted by the Flames. This was their team that year. Okay.
The Flames.
Joe Mullen, Hacken Lube,
I'm looking for the numbers.
Hack and lube.
Yeah.
Doug
don't know about
Gilmour,
that
Joe Nieuwendyk, Al McInnes, Gary Suter, Yuri Hrdina, Joel Otto, Gary Roberts, Colin Patterson, Jim Pumplinsky, Theron Fleury, Mark Hunter, Jamie McCowan, Brad McCrimmon, Dana Merzen, Lanny McDonald, only had 18 points, but that mustache got 100. Rob Ramage, Tim Hunter, Nick Net. The rest of the guys don't matter. I don't know
Who
who
was
were.
93?
They don't say.
Who had the highest number on the team then?
I don't know.
It should say.
No, this isn't.
What kind of website are you on?
I'm on Wikipedia.
Go to HockeyDB. How
Fine.
dare you?
Oh,
You
I
know
think
better
I-
than this.
I think I have to change my name to Hack and Lube.
I can loop.
You didn't know about that guy?
No.
I think he's a Swedish defenseman.
Oh, it only has hockey reference. Where did Hockey DB go?
HockeyDB's real.
I know it's
Well,
real.
Hockey Reference will have numbers too.
Yeah, it does
Like
have
that.
reference. No one wore it.
Who's the highest number then?
Looks like Rob Ramage at 55.
Yeah, okay. That's a no fun GM. That GM, that's why.
No, you know what? You know what it probably was?
What's that?
Who was their coach that year? That's probably who it was. It was probably their coach.
Coach No Fun Man. What?
Terry Crisp.
All I'm gonna say
Terry
is
Crisp?
all I'm gonna
Really
say
like his
is
numbers,
if you
not Crisp.
if you Google Hack and Lube, the first thing that comes up is what kind of lube to use on ratchets.
Interesting. While we're talking about
The more you know.
Ratchets and the Flames, Flames need a lot of tools to be able to build a new arena, which they will not be doing. That was the best.
That was
the best.
That was
rough.
fantastic. That was about as rough as
Oh.
crunchy peanut butter. I meant smooth. Damn it! No! I've become Greg.
Why didn't you just say grab your floaties because the saddle dome's still sinking?
Oh, actually, it won't. It
I
won't
went
be.
for a tour there. How dare you?
It won't be sinking
How was the
anytime
water?
soon.
Actually, I was in the room where there was apparently water up to the roof, and you know what I was thinking? Like your voice the whole time, just like, I bet it's still flooded. And I'm like, well, technically, I'd be dead if it's still flooded.
Okay,
Sorry, go ahead.
It's true.
so it looks like there's nothing planned for the Calgary Flames to extend for a new arena, and Gary Bettman's putting a lot of pressure on Calgary to get a new arena because otherwise there could be consequences to the validity of having an NHL team in that arena as time goes by. Now, I don't think anybody here, and probably most of the people here listening, all 25 of you, and 3 of them being Cam later when he's listening to this,
Hi, Mom.
probably don't think that Calgary is not a viable market for the NHL.
And then they are a viable market.
That they are, yes. I don't know why I did a double negative there. But in all reality, Calgary is a very viable market for the NHL. But if you look at Calgary right now, economy's not great there because of what's happened with oil. Now, granted, there could be some things that are going to change over time. But you look at Calgary from a certain perspective. The Saddle Dome's old. I don't think they've built a new megastructure there in a very long time, probably since the '88 Olympics. I would not be surprised.
Which
because
is the arena that they currently play in. They built that arena for the Olympics.
I wouldn't be surprised because there's rumors that they're trying to go after the Winter Olympics, and I think it's going to be 2020.
2028 or 2032.
Yeah, 2032. Wouldn't be surprised if they push it back that long, and that's some of the money they generate for that. Because they need a new football stadium. They need one. They need a new hockey arena. They need one. And they need new recreational facilities because they need those badly as well. So it's going to be interesting. And one of the best ways to get it is through federal funding. And there's no better way to get federal funding than hosting the Olympics. You need private funding. You need publicly sourced funding. And I think that's what's going to have to happen. The question is, will Gary Bettman and the NHL wait another 15 years for them to get a new arena?
I think the Bettman, his whole comment, I think he's just trying to put heat on to try and
Speed it
force
up.
their
Get
hand
it.
and speed it up
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, are they really gonna? I mean, Calgary's like.
Are they going to move to Seattle? No.
Are they going to take
Even if
away?
their arena is getting older and the economy there is not the best, they're probably still one of the top 10 viable markets in the league.
You know
At
who
least
else? You know who else
It's not a big market compared to. It's like Winnipeg. They're not a huge market. They're bigger than Winnipeg. They're not huge, but they probably bring in. They probably bring enough revenue that why would they leave? Where are they going to go? Seattle.
Yeah.
That's a toss up. Is that team ever going to do? Bring in great revenue? Could, but
Do they have an arena right now? They don't.
Do you want a rivalry
when-
with Vancouver or Edmonton?
if you move the Flames,
Who's
if
got
you're-
the most exciting young player that you're pushing very hard right now in the NHL?
No, they just got a new arena too, but that's also because they have an owner named Daryl Cates who has a pretty deep pocket. Some
The other thing
nice
too
friends.
is they've completely built an entire district around it. They put new casinos up. They're putting new condos
Housings.
and everything's going up there, and it's going to be a huge area to live in. It's the same way that True North revitalized downtown because now you're seeing new hotels going up, new skylights for condos
Have you seen
for
True North
businesses.
Square? That huge building
Exactly.
there. Holy!
Yeah.
I drove by the other day. I'm like, holy shit!
I don't remember that being there like
No,
2 months ago.
it's huge.
It's crazy.
Well, when the Chipmans want something to get done, it gets done.
I've noticed.
And this thing is going. New stadiums and new places can help revitalize areas, and that's what Calgary needs. They need something to revitalize that area. There's nothing wrong with the Red Mile. It's honestly like you've been there. I've been like it's not a bad area. There's a lot of beautiful places in Calgary,
You
but
know when
Calgary
it sucks? 5 o'clock rush hour traffic. That's
Yeah.
when it sucks.
Yeah, one way in, one way
Yeah.
out. It's terrible.
The worst.
The one thing with Calgary is they burst it out and they never focused on within, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From purely city planning.
Well, they
kind of
have a
perspective.
freeway there's no lights. It's beautiful.
It is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what that is
No.
unless you
Well,
go to
like,
States.
we built a bypass here, but there's 100 intersections.
Hey
on
guys,
it
but
with
we're
lights.
getting Amazon HQ too.
Dude,
Remember
I'm
that.
stoked. You know how fast I'm gonna get my Amazon stuff now?
It actually is going to get rerouted back to Amazon HQ.
They're gonna
Once
send-
it gets sent
They'll
here.
Do I
send it
need
to
to have-
Mississauga, and then it'll come back.
Do I need to have Prime to get it in 2 days if it's here? Can
No,
I?
you'll-
Is there a pickup option?
You'll probably that would be sweet.
Dude, I
Could you
drive and
imagine?
pick it up.
I would too. Okay, but beside
I wait in
the
the parking lot.
beside the point, with Calgary, another team that was in a struggling economy with an old arena just got a brand new one. Detroit Red Wings, with a fan base that's been there for years.
The dojo.
Patience is key, and I think that's what's going to be needed here. And maybe somebody shouldn't be so trigger happy, Gary Bettman, and just wait it out. It's going to eventually happen. Jets fans were patient for 15 years. Gary Bettman can be patient for another 6 years.
No, he takes things away when he gets impatient. That's what
I know.
he does.
I know.
We've noticed. Dan's noticed twice.
Yeah.
Well, technically not really, but yes.
Well, yeah.
The
No,
other
like
one-
with Jets and Thrashers.
Oh, I was just gonna say they moved. Yeah, they moved the Thrashers, but they moved them to where I live. So I think that's a positive.
But it's a day. Fine, you're still at -1 then.
No, I think I went +1.
You're at a +1.
That's pretty big.
Okay.
If the Flyers moved to Winnipeg, would you not be like, yeah?
No, I'd be mad.
That's how I
Actually,
felt the first year too. I was like,
this team that I like.
You guys don't know.
everyone's
You're a
like,
hipster.
yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, you must be so excited. I'm like, no, I have to share them with everybody.
Because when you
Working
went out
at
wearing the
Sophie's when I'm
Thrashers
in
stuff,
university, if the Thrashers are playing and I'm PVRing it, I don't, no one's spoiling that for me.
dude, I remember that. When
But
you-
now, goddamn Jets games.
Everyone's spoiling
I
it.
remember when I first met Dan, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a Thrashers fan." And I remember like one time he said jokingly, like, "Don't spoil the game." I'm like, "I don't even think they're on the app I use, so that's fine." Like,
It wasn't an app.
so bad.
They don't come up in my illegally streamed list. Nobody wants to watch Thrashers Panthers tonight there, Daniel.
Not even Game Center. They're like, "Are you sure?" Okay, and then they literally just give you the ref helmet cam.
Yeah.
I'm
You know how
like,
bad it was?
bad. I watch a couple with
They
you
were like the one stream that was not guaranteed to be in HD.
on that TV too.
It
Eh?
might have been standard def. You don't really
Oh
know.
no!
You never knew.
Yeah, you never knew.
Okay.
You never knew.
Last thing to close out the podcast, obviously, also to touch on the Flames, will Joe McGinley sign anywhere?
No, Canada, Team Canada captain, and then go to Calgary and be something in management.
Fair enough.
What? Yeah. What if he goes to the Olympics then signs after?
Oh, like Yammer Yager plans on doing?
Yeah. Go on a cup run.
Yeah, well, Yalmer Yagers, you know how some guys gamble and it works out where it's like, oh, he left his team and he went and won a cup? Like Ray Bork will use how he got traded, lost that year, and then re-signed with Bruins for Colorado, and then won.
I think the fact that
Colorado's Jerome McGinley's he should not have done that.
I feel like the fact that he hasn't retired yet, he's probably still holding on hope.
Who's going on a cup run that's going to be able to afford? No, you know what? He'll take the price tag.
He won't do it for money. He'll just do it to play.
Okay, now safe Jets are locked up playoffs.
I don't think he'd be a good. I don't think he's what the Jets want.
I would take him.
I mean,
personally.
maybe. I mean, he's still pretty good in the power play at 15 goals.
Can he
last
play
year.
goalie? Just back up. Steve Mason will be hurt. I'm just wondering.
Oh, okay.
It's happening. It's happening.
Hey, I saw him in full Jets gear today. You want to see a picture?
Yeah, actually, I'd love
Who?
to see that. That'd be awesome. Steve Mason.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, okay, sorry. This is getting boring for everyone listening. What's next?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're done.
We're
No.
done.
Unless you have anything.
NHL rule change.
What's the
If you
NHL?
challenge an offside this year and it's not successful, 2-minute penalty.
Play a game.
Plus, you lose your timeout.
Awesome. Good.
This is good. Because,
So the Preds would have been charged for wasting time as well.
well, you just better be sure that you're.
Okay, let's see if I got any notes.
It's just going to
yes.
take away those ridiculously long reviews, right?
Yes. Okay, so I do have a few things. So this is a quote from Ken Hitchcock. I just enjoyed this. Okay. Traverse City, Michigan, where the Dallas Stars are apparently having like a mini camp or whatever. Dallas Stars coach Ken Hitchcock said he's looking at the forward lines as groups of 2 instead of 3. Now this is a quote he said. Everything up front is on twosomes, not threesomes. I don't even have a clue line-wise, but I like just some twosomes. Or I like some twosomes. I like Sagan and Ben playing together. I like Radek Faksa and Martin Hanzo playing together. I like Matthias Janmark and Spezza together. I like twosomes. And then see where threesomes fit. Stupid. And then
But no, that's actually not a terrible idea because we talked about it last
yeah.
year with having 1-2 punches, and you can have that throughout your lineup, and then you can sprinkle in everybody else you need from there.
Okay, I got that. And then we got... Oh, here's a headline. Just here's a little paragraph for you. Again, this Montreal, they're never not going to be in an episode. I will not allow it. Jonathan Drouin will play center when the Montreal Canadiens open training camp later this week. But not Alex Galchenyuk will not. Said Coach Claude Julien and GM Marc Bergevin each made it clear at the Canadiens golf tournament on Monday that Drouin, who played on the wing with Tampa Bay, will play at center when training camp opens Friday. Why? What? Why? Leave Drouin at wing, put Galchenyuk at center. You drafted him at center. You keep him at center. What are they doing? It's bizarro land in Montreal. They're driving me crazy.
They don't drive me crazy. I'm going to enjoy when this all crashes and burns in their face. They lose Carey Price, Shea Weber ages himself out of the NHL, and they have nothing to show for the incredible building that they did at one time. Because they could have one of the best teams in the NHL if they didn't continuously shoot themselves in the foot with bad management decisions.
Speaking of crashing and burning, I don't know if you guys know this, but Marco Dano almost got... Well, actually, he did get taken out at the Bomber game on Saturday.
What was there?
There were a few Jets players on the sideline, and he actually... there was a play where 2 guys went off the field, and one of the Bomber players somersaulted, and he gets smoked into the advertising board.
Oh,
Nice.
That's pretty funny. Okay, I want to end on one thing. So the Hockey News did their prediction for the top 10 scorers in the
Wait,
league
hold on.
this year.
Before, there's one more thing I want to say. George Peros is now the head of player safety. I like that.
So I'm going to
Shocking.
read them from 10 to 1. You tell me what you guys
Okay,
think.
what is it? Sorry,
This
I
is
missed it.
the
actually, put them in mixed order.
top 10
without-
point guys this year.
Okay, like
they think.
projection.
Just put them in on. Just say.
No, I'm
guy.
saying 10 to 1.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, Brad Marchand was number 10.
Like
Understandable.
points. We're going points.
Total points.
10 to 1.
Art Ross, yeah. Brad Marchand. Nick Backstrom was number 9.
Not shocking.
Steven Stamkos number 8.
If he's healthy.
Austin Matthews number 7.
If he.
Ooh, pardon my language. Sorry.
Jamie Benn number 6.
Whoa! This isn't a Jimmy John's advertisement.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. That was awesome. Okay.
So Ben was 6. Kucherov 5. Patrick Kane 4. Sidney Crosby 3.
I'm walking.
Who
if
do
you're
you
about
think the top 2 are?
the piss out of here if Mark Scheifele is number 2.
He's number 2.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Connor McDavid number 1.
Schmaz.
That's safe.
Schmaz.
They
No way.
Their prediction is he could
How many points? How many points is he getting?
90 or at least 90. He had 82 and 79 last year. So I just wanted to say it because I want to see what you guys thought about
Schmaz. That's a schmaz list. I'm not buying it.
You know what the funny thing is?
I think
How many
82
wingers
again.
are on that list?
that.
Cooch. Marchand.
Kane, Cooch, Ben,
And Marchand.
and Marchand. The others are centers.
Now, if that's how
Wait, who was number 1? Sorry, I was busy yelling.
McDavid.
With how many?
Probably
100?
They just said 100 plus.
100 plus.
That'd be nice.
I mean, he did 100 last
I
year.
mean, I think Scheifele could be right up in there. I don't know if he's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he'll be second.
I
but-
wouldn't-
Maybe I should back off Scheifele. I mean, I don't know if he's 2. I fully think he's top 5.
I
But,
mean, he had.
but hey, if he's top
he had
5,
80
why not 2, right? I guess.
he had 82 last year. I mean, the way point totals are going, 82 could be top 5. 82 could be second.
And you know what? He's going to have to. The Jets are going to have to score like 6 goals a game to win games. So
Compensate for
makes
Steve
sense.
Mason.
I know what's happened, guys. I'm telling you.
Steve Mason's not the answer?
No, I want Hellebuck, please. Yeah, I hope he had the greatest offseason of all time.
Do you-
I hope he
Do
becomes
you
like
not?
Patrick Waugh.
Okay, no. Do you not think Steve Mason is the answer, or are you just really scared that he is, and you don't want to see it happen?
No, I don't think he is. Like I saw flashes
So
of
what
what
if
he
they
could
make
be.
the playoffs with Steve Mason as their goalie?
Well, I've seen Steve Mason in the playoffs.
He
But
lets
that's-
And he
goals in
gets
from
hurt,
center
and then
ice.
there's a backup.
But that's a success for them. So you're saying he can do what they want him to do.
No, it's going to be Hellebuck because it was Newvirth doing what they needed him to do.
All right. We can argue for this.
Yeah,
for
I'm going to run in circles
months.
forever.
Yeah.
Yo, well, we could talk about when he gets injured.
You know
'cause
what?
it's gonna happen.
I'm totally okay with Mark Scheifele being the second highest scorer. I think it would be great for the city. It'd be great for the NHL, and it'd be great for other fans to
For
actually
little
see
kids in Brampton, Ontario. Where's he from? The GTA.
Mimco.
Up in the
He's
Mimco.
not-
If Mark Scheifele is the second leading scorer in the league, then the Jets probably did pretty good this year.
Oh, I thought you were going on a treat set for that one. I thought you were
Okay.
going to treat set.
No, that one I don't feel confident about.
Any final words?
No, next week are we going to do our
No.
award prediction stuff?
No.
We're waiting till
I think we
week
promised
1.
that we were going to do that, and then we never did.
No, we're doing that
Well, he
before.
needs his computer. So
No, we're doing that before the first week.
Yeah.
Before the first game.
Wait, are you up at game 1?
Monday.
No, are you at game 1 opening
I
season?
don't know yet. Probably not, but
We are.
unless I buy tickets.
Because why?
We're ready to stand witness. And I will not rise together.
Because you're going to rise together.
No, because
No,
we're going to
we
stand,
stand
witness,
witness.
Daniel.
You're going to rise when you see Patrick Laine snipe another
We're
3 goals.
standing
I will
witness of what's going to happen.
Pause. Can I answer that? I will be excited if he scores a hat trick. I have never seen a hat trick live in NHL hockey.
Perfect.
I've
I'm
seen-
bringing you for a reason.
I want to see a hat trick. I've never seen
You don't
it.
want
William
that reason.
Nylander's going to break your...
Will Nye the scoring guy?
He'll break it for you.
I should dress up like Will Nye. Wear a
Should.
blonde
You've
wig.
seen
On that
pro
note-
team hat tricks. You've never seen a Jets hat trick.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Teddy Purcell.
Teddy Purcell, you had one. Chris
does that
Versteeg
even
had
count?
one, too.
I wasn't at that one. I was at the other one.
okay.
Yeah.
On that note,
Go.
if you want to interact with the show in any way, shape, or form, you can always check us out on Twitter at LastMinuteNPC. You can always comment on our YouTube page, Last Minute Podcast. While you're there, hit that subscribe button so you continue to get these episodes every week. You can also email us at lastminutepc@gmail.com. And as always, you can take us on the go with you with your Podomatic app or through Google Play or the podcast app on iTunes. Just look up Last Minute Podcast. You'll find us there. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Until next time.
Stand witness. Yes.